Imagination is the essence of creativity and art. Whether you are a painter of the realistic or the surreal and dreamy scenes, harnessing the power of your imagination can elevate your art to new heights. Do you think that having a vivid imagination is the privilege of only a selected few, the so-called talented ones? In the past few weeks, I completely dived into this topic and I did extensive research. And actually, I found the exact opposite. Practically anyone can train themselves to have a more vivid imagination. In this video, I want to share some of the findings on this topic together with some practical tips. These tips literally have the potential to change the structure and the chemistry of your brain in order to boost your imagination and take your creativity and art to the next level. I want to briefly mention what science says about creativity and imagination, but if you are not really interested in this part, then feel free to skip ahead to the next chapter. So most people are able to think in both words and images. Well, I find both extremely important in everyday life. But when it comes to art, I think that using mental visualization becomes the most useful. I consider myself lucky because when an idea comes to me, I cannot help but think in images. At least most of the time, the first moment of inspiration comes without much of my control. However, once the idea is there, I am able to construct and deconstruct the scenes, imagine different compositions, I can change objects and replace them, play with the details, change the angles, zoom in and out. So all of this is without making a single mark with a pencil or a brush. So I find this very helpful in my artistic approach. I would say that words and abstract concepts are extremely helpful when it comes to gathering knowledge and generating ideas. But when we play with the idea itself and we want to translate these abstract thoughts into tangible forms, then vibrant mental images are the key. Studies show that during creative activities and inspirational moments, the whole brain is used. This completely goes against the old belief that the right side of the brain is the only responsible part for such a task. But when an idea is being created, new neural connections are formed both between the left and the right hemisphere. So the good news is that even if you consider yourself a rather logical, analytical, rational person, yep, you can still be highly creative. Although one can be naturally more creative than others, studies found that the impact of genetics on creativity is quite low. These studies were done on twins and they concluded that only about 20 to 25% of the creative abilities could come from genetics. So the rest completely depends on you and your environment. Also, if you feel that you were much more creative as a kid and it feels that you lost it, you are not alone and it is not your fault. Young kids evaluated their creativity and 90% of them said that they considered themselves creative. But by the time they reached high school, only 5 to 10% of them said the same. But what could cause such a significant drop? One of the main theories suggests that most probably it is due to our school system. And the main problem could be that the school system is mainly focusing on factual knowledge and it is only accepting a single right answer for a problem or a question. While as we know, in the creative state, there is no such thing as a the right answer, but we have many probable solutions or ideas, out of which there may be some that are better or more optimal to a certain scenario or a certain problem. But surely the more ideas you have, the better in most of the cases. But the good thing is that even if you feel that you lost your creativity, it is not the case. There are ways to enhance your imagination and improve the creativity. So yes, you still have it, and the only thing is that, it has to be trained and exercised a little bit. It's just like muscle that you did not use for some time. But let's see how. It is all about the mindset. Start with a positive mindset and stick to it. Think about your imagination and your ideas as your dear and very best friends. Don't judge them, don't be mad at them, don't talk down at them. Rather welcome them, embrace them, praise and nurture them. The nice thing about the imagination and the ideas is that they are like a cascade. They duplicate and they grow in number if you just simply let them. When you have a good idea, also it is important to take action and do something with it. Acting upon it and making the idea a reality is the greatest reinforcements for your brain to generate more of those. Expand your knowledge. Every idea is at least partially coming from something that you already know. Therefore, expanding knowledge is one of the best ways towards new creative ideas. Try to diversify the topics as much as possible. Try to open up the window of your interest to a wider range of subjects. Here you can think about anything that interests you and you are happy to spend time learning more about it. Also, for me, when I learn about something new, sometimes the unknown is even more exciting, and I like to think about those segments of the topic that are yet to be discovered. But well, if I think about it, most of the times when humanity's imagination went sort of crazy, it was usually coming from the fear or the amusement of the unknown. So focusing also on the questions that we cannot yet answer and we don't completely understand, well, that gives an extra spice for the mind to work with. Try to diversify the content, and you can learn from different sources in order to stimulate your brain in many different ways. Try to listen to interviews, podcasts, audiobooks on topics that excite you. Read books and try to imagine how the characters and the scenes look like. Let it awaken feelings in you. Visit art galleries or museums. Read art books, magazines, cartoons, which show a lot of rich and diverse ideas and visuals. Watch comedy shows and a wide variety of movies like science fiction, fantasy, drama, or comedies.
Those aren't mountains. They're waves.
And try to immerse yourself in the world of these movies and let it inspire you.
So, is infinity a number, a place, an idea, a concept? If you ask me, probably all of the above. I think to be conscious is to be wrangling with infinity. I mean, not to be grandiose.
Listen to immersive music with headphones and just let it take you to another world. The more you expose your mind to different worlds, the more diverse your imagination becomes. It's very important to deviate from habits and get out of the comfort zone. When you try and experience new things, it adds new input to your senses. This can be as little as tasting a new food or driving on an unknown path. But it can be skydiving or traveling to a country with a completely different culture. You can also try art challenges or try to improvise sometimes, either in your art or by trying improvised writing or games. For me personally, it is also nice to share and discuss new ideas with my friends and to see their opinions and to genuinely try to understand a point of view that could be completely different from mine. Scientifically speaking, it is very good to put your brain into different states. Studies show that the different aspects of the creative process require different brain activity. For example, inspiration and idea generation happens in the alpha state. This is a relaxed, a rather low-level activity when a part of the brain, the so-called dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, is suppressed. This region is actually one of the most recently developed and most advanced parts of our brain. This can be achieved during sleep, deep relaxation, daydreaming, walking in nature, or meditation. Well, for me, many of my ideas come during taking a shower and just letting my thoughts come and go. If you want to max it out, try guided visionary meditation that will not only relax you but will enhance your mental imaging as well. But once the idea is there, we are able to actually act upon it only in the beta state, which is a high-level activity state. In this state, we are focused and able to refine ideas. Therefore, it is so important that when an idea comes, never forget to write it down. I learned it in the hard way through many lost ideas, which came, for example, just before sleeping, and I never wrote them down thinking that there is no way that I would forget such an awesome idea. Well, obviously in the morning I did not remember it anymore, so no matter the circumstances, if you want to keep an idea so that later on you can work with it and actually make it happen, you need to write it down as soon as possible. Try to make some twist in the idea. Many times an idea right from the oven is just great, almost no need to work on it. But many times it pays off to play with it a little bit instead of settling for the first impression. Ask yourself, can you make it even more interesting? If you are a realistic painter, this could mean a change in the lighting settings or a more interesting composition. As far as surrealism goes, the sky is the limit. My last and extra point is that do not wait for inspiration to come to you, you should go to inspiration. Inspiration is lazy, she does not come very often. I hope she does not hear this. Only God knows how many more clients and how much work she has. She cannot be all the time with you, so we should not wait and put aside our work until inspiration knocks on our door. Many times we have to start to work without it. Then once you are busy working, you won't even notice when and how, but surely she entered your room at some point and she is watching you work behind your shoulder. Whether you are a realistic or a surrealistic artist, you will benefit from a sharpened imagination. If you are a realist, a rich imagination will show up in better compositions, unique perspectives, and will help to set your work apart from others. If you are in surrealism, the imagination becomes the backbone of the art. The ability to envision and play with different ideas and to challenge the boundaries of reality is the essence of the work. So, by training your mind to cultivate a vivid imagination and think in images, you open the door to new dimensions of creativity, storytelling, and innovation in your art. I personally think that I have quite a vivid imagination, but of course I'm definitely up for enhancing it. Since I incorporated a few of these tips from the list, I have more ideas and they are richer and more interesting than before, I would say. The point is that I love philosophy, science, music, movies. There are so many things that inspire me and I wish to translate it into my art. So my new challenge that I am currently doing is that I think about a rather abstract concept and I try to visualize it in many different ways. As an example, these days I am learning about the work of Carl Jung, the famous psychiatrist. Among others, he talks about the idea of the subconscious and the shadow part of the personality, which is very interesting for me. So I am thinking, how would I paint that? How would I paint the subconscious or the shadow part of the personality? Or for example, during my latest painting, where I asked myself, how should I paint authenticity and the labyrinth of life choices? Well, I don't necessarily force these ideas to come to me, but I keep the question and this challenge in the back of my mind. And for me, the best ideas anyway come when I am just in the relaxed state, walking or taking a shower, or just daydreaming. Once I have an image in my mind, I leave time to refine it and play with it. Many times I find it challenging, but I really enjoy it. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and share in the comments what inspires you the most. Thanks for watching and hope to see you in the next one. Hey, if you're still watching this video after this point, why not consider subscribing to my channel for similar content? I'm just asking.